Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are viewing this video. Hi, I'm Dr. Olayinka Konle. On this channel, I do a number of stuff, but all the stuffs I do, research is very central to them. And on this note, I must inform you that I'm a lecturer in the university. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly go ahead and click subscribe on your screen right now to subscribe to this channel for wonderful and regular content that will benefit you in so many respects. Discussion of findings in research is what I want to talk about today in terms of capacity building along research. This is a very important area of research or report writing that people do not really pay sufficient attention to, or that I've seen that there is huge capacity gap. I've examined thesis, dissertation, long essays, technical report across the world, and I've found that by the time people get to this discussion of findings, they seem not to understand what it is all about. And that's why I want to drop this video so that you can build sufficient capacity. This discussion of findings in research is usually after the presentation of results. But many people still do not understand. They still write it as if it's another place to restate the results or the findings. No. But once you have presented your result, what is supposed to be done in discussion of findings is to further interpret the results. Interpretation of the findings, the implication of the findings. Okay, we have seen findings. After your methodology, you have presented your results or findings. Now, discussion of findings is very important. In fact, some people don't even know that this discussion of findings is so important. They think that just presenting findings is the most important thing. But it is until you discuss the findings and tell us the implication of the findings before I can actually see the wow effect of this particular work that you have done. When people conduct research, they give findings. The findings must be interpreted. I've seen so many in qualitative study or in quantitative study where they just present the tables, the beautiful graphs, the beautiful models, the beautiful statistics, the beautiful visualization, but you just wonder what is the implication of these very beautiful models. Or some people just read quotations, ethnographic summary, excerpts from transcripts. Now you wonder, what are the implications of this? So discussion of findings is where you should interpret the findings and bring out the implications in terms of relevance to social development, to technological development, to advancement in medicine, or whatever you are researching. This discussion of findings is where you tell us the implications. Okay, I found that 80% or a particular relationship or correlation is found. What is the interpretation? What is the implication for that particular reason, for which you conducted the research? And this is also where you compare your work with previous studies. In discussion of findings, you bring your theory and your literature you have reviewed together. You must have reviewed literature. You must have applied theories sometime if you use theoretical framework. Now, your findings and the implication, you begin to explain your findings, interpret your findings in light of the literature that have existed in that area. How has your findings agreed with the existing literature? How has your findings disagreed with the existing literature? What is the something new that you are contributing to knowledge in that area? This is the most important relevance of this kind of findings. Okay, if you have adopted theories, how has your findings agreed with the existing theories that you have used? How has your findings disagreed with the theories that you have used? And what is the new thing? How has your findings falsified the theories that you have used or that have existed in that area? And how has your findings contributed to new theoretical orientations? In fact, this can lead to grounded theory, in the sense that from your findings, we can begin to theorize new dimensions. We can develop new theories. I have a video on this channel on grounded theory. This is how grounded theories emerged. From your research, we can say, okay, we can see that the existing theories are not so relevant, are not so competent. There are gaps in existing theory. Then, based on my findings, I can begin to theorize in this direction. In fact, your research can lead to new theories. So it's when you now discuss, in terms of discussion, you use your findings and results to engage in discussion with existing theories We're citing literatures. Okay, what is different? What is the same in my work, my findings, and the previous ones? And what is different in my findings and previous literature? And how has my findings disagree with theories existing? And what are the new things I'm contributing? In fact, it is from your discussion of findings that we can clearly see your contribution to knowledge. If you have not been able to do sufficient work, excellent work in your discussion of findings, we cannot easily see your contribution to knowledge. And your work should contribute to knowledge. You see some people, when they get to their final, they want to make statements about areas for further research or contribution to knowledge. They struggle because they have not actually been able to localize this in the discussion of findings. And how to do this is very easy. In terms of, you should be able to show the gaps, your contribution to knowledge, and you can also make profound statements. Some people still write their discussion of findings as if they are doing literature review. No, this is where, when you have engaged literature, existing literature with your work, the gaps will be clear. What you have agreed with in previous literature, what you have disagreed with will show clearly. Then you make profound statement about your own departure and what you are creating. And at the same time, you do the same for theory. So your discussion of discussion of findings should then begin to show us what you are contributing in terms of literature and theory through your findings. Then you can also, from here, show us what limitations are in your work. What are the limitations? And how did you overcome your limitations? And what are the ones you cannot overcome? Then this is where you now suggest areas for further studies. Some people just fabricate areas of further studies. But from your discussion of findings, we should be able to see what your limitations are. And you can now recommend this for us as areas of further studies. Because that's why it's called research. People continue to research because no research can answer all questions. And you have to be clear. Don't allow your contributions to be swallowed in the noisy engagement that is not properly done in your discussion of findings. Be emphatic, be bold in your discussion of findings to say, this is my contribution. From this, you can see that this is what I've done and this is what I'm suggesting. And you have to do this very well. What are the things you need to do here? You need to be very clear. Be clear. No need for technical languages, no need for jargons, no need for vocabulary. Be clear, be concise. I will not recommend number of words, number of pages. It depends on your work, on your depth of your research and comprehensiveness and your specialization. The rules in your area of specialization, but be concise, be bold, make emphatic statement and say, based on my research, this is what I found to be the gap, and this is my contribution to knowledge, and this is what I think should happen based on my research. You must be very bold. You must be emphatic, and be concise. Avoid unnecessary technicalities and use present tense. Let them know, okay, works have existed in this area, but now it's my time. I've arrived with my contribution, and this is the present, and I'm showing you towards the future. Wow. I love discussion of findings, and be bold. It's not in another place to begin to present results again. It's not another results section. It's a place of discussion, discursive engagement with literature, existing literature, previous literature, theories, to show us it's not what is the important implications and what have you contributed. And you have to be very serious, be energetic about it. Some people write it in a very tired, as if they have worked, they have collected data, they have analyzed, they are tired. No, this is not the place to be tired. This is a place to encourage yourself and digest your findings. Immersed yourself in your findings and come out bold, refreshed, rejuvenated, excited based on what you have seen to be the same with extant literature and to be radically different from extant literature, to be the same with extant theories, existing theories and what is different from existing theory, what are these falsifications based on your research. Falsification means disproving existing theory. That's what it means to falsify a theory. To reject or to engage, to criticize, and to prove that a theory is wrong. That's falsification. Then you give us what you think should be the correct way of theorization. So rejuvenate yourself and tell us what is new and what is yours. This kind of finding is very good. And until you have the kind of findings, whether in your technical report whether in your thesis, in your dissertation, in your project, or even in your article. If you're writing an article for publication, your discussion of findings is where people suddenly or mostly want to see what is new, what is novel in your work, whether they will recommend it for publication or not. Some people just move from result and findings to conclusion and recommendation. No, don't ever do that. Take your time after your result and findings. Create a section of discussion of findings. I always recommend this when I review an article or any work, any report. Pay attention to this area. Bring them together in a coherent whole. Your findings, results, your theory, literature, and external work show the gap and the direction knowledge should travel. Pay attention to this, and it's very good. Till I see you in my next video, please subscribe and share this video as widely as possible. Bye for now.